Yes, people, I'm so glad you lot didn't have to hear what I heard in the background. A massive pause. You can actually guess for what it was. If there's a pause, it's all Daps' fault.
He normally blames me, to be fair. So I'll take it.
He's already been talking. We've had a couple of shows together, me and Cass on other channels tonight. And can I just let you know, I'm just going to put it out there from early, and I'm not just talking smack. You can go and check it. Guess who Cass was slandering? Guess what club Cass was slandering?
Arsenal.
Come on. No, that's me. That's what I do.
Probably Newcastle.
You're probably the most polite person to Arsenal ever.
Arteta. It's so mad. It's so mad that you think that, Arsenal fans, because I am. I give them loads
Arsenal they always get the feelings hurt.
Yeah. I like that you've noticed. I like that you've noticed that I am proper polite and nice about Arsenal, because Arsenal fans, because I say
go
like
that far, but
well, no, I just tell the truth.
Yeah,
we all think that.
Yeah, we're going to be joined by Deji as well. He's just finished up his show on One Touch TV, but we obviously got Alex here repping Chelsea as always, and just general ball knowledge as well, as much as Kendall, Newcastle, and general ball knowledge. Deji, just a bit of Spurs and got zero ball knowledge, but we love Deji. So,
do you know what? That's actually quite true. You know, we have got a panel with Alex and Kendall, general ball knowledge, because Alex, Alex, have people told you this before?
Over there, just screaming.
Do you know what? Sometimes for some, when I'm chilling in here, sometimes I'm like, oh, what other YouTube channels are on? And Cassie's always like, how can you watch football football YouTube when you're not actually on it? I'm like, I don't know, but the one that I always go to is Lewis's channel, and I always say the production is dog, right? But you lot argue when you're agreeing. Even when you're agreeing, it's an argument, and it's just entertainment. And Lewis is perfect at just letting it run its course.
I actually do the same thing. When I watch Arsenal, I mute the TV and I'm turn the YouTube on what's his name that lives in now moved to your states. What's his name? Troops. I watch. That's the best combo, man. That's the best combo.
It's better than the commentary. We'll see with who is it? Peter Drury we've got next year, so that might improve it a little bit. But with a lot of the commentary, especially Champions League, I'm not interested to hear Michael Owen, Steve McManaman, or
thank God I will be at the games next year, so I don't have to sit and listen to that absolute.
See, the trolling is already begin, right? The trolling already begin, right? I'm not complaining about the people who's gonna have time the Champions League. I'm not there. I'm not complaining. You should get it, Neville.
One sec. Mods, do your jobs. As much as we like the banner and everything, I will tell this live and nicely. This is not the Football Terrace chat. You do not be nasty to the panel. Just come for their football opinions. That's it. Don't have to be nasty towards their appearance, or if you think they're much of if you think of them like how you lot most of you think of Dawood or anything. Just be nice.
You know what it is. Anyone, anyone that is currently being nasty about anyone, not just in the panel, but also in the comments. I hope your day gets better, because if you're being nasty about anyone, clearly your day is not going very well. So
and also smash that like button. We can be on 100 in the click of a fingers. You know exactly where the like button is. For anyone that doesn't know, just comment if you don't know what a like button is, and we can show you a little bit later on. But today we're going to be talking about Chelsea. Are they having the best window? I personally there's obviously you can differ to Arsenal, maybe even Tottenham, which is a surprise. Deji will talk on that since he doesn't rate James Maddison, but all of a sudden rates James Maddison. We can talk about who's underperforming in this current window as well. I suppose Declan Rice is rumored to be an official Arsenal player revealed tomorrow.
Is that what it is tomorrow?
And then also Onana as well, potentially tomorrow. With the here we go, should we say, for that, not actually unveiled as a player. No,
I hope for Arsenal fans, I hope that Rice's
Basmati.
Not Rice's Pragmatic. My Kima Rice that's coming. No, I hope that Rice being what's the word? revealed. Thank you. Is I hope he is at their camp. They're away in Norway, is it now, or somewhere? They're away somewhere now.
Who?
Arsenal. They're away. They're playing Nuremberg soon. So they're playing Nuremberg somewhere soon. They're away on their camp at
Friday,
the moment.
I think.
Yeah,
Friday.
So I hope that's the reveal. That would be a good reveal, isn't it? That he just appears at the camp with the players. Like that's the reveal, not him somewhere putting the shirt on. He needs to be over there, right? Getting involved.
Party might go to United.
Who's this?
Party. The terrorist said I was listening to terrorists.
Partey to Manchester United. With everything that's surrounding around him, we'd become the most. Oh my word! Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Oh,
No.
I didn't even think of that.
That is gonna be.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I saw on terrace. I don't know. I didn't watch the all the way. I just heard it.
We're gonna be called. I'm not gonna lie. We would be called RAPISTFC.
Well, they might as well just get gigs back for a photo opportunity.
You know what? You might as well bring back Adam Johnson as well. How about that? Yeah, get the lads back.
Bro, come on. There's no need to throw us in this mixer, bro. We're not involved in this. This is
I'm talking about Man United.
Why he didn't play for you?
No, I know. But you might as well get him as well.
Make it Survivor Series. Make it Survivor Series. Anyway, by the way, it's not funny neither, and to the victims and all of that.
Are you laughing?
Apologies if anyone takes that the wrong way. I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at the fact that Man United's PR team. Sorry, and it's not funny. And overall, what's happened is not funny. But
no, I'm not laughing at that.
If Manchester United's PR team ever allow that to happen, then they need to. That needs to be the first.
They wouldn't. They wouldn't.
Can't, man.
There's just no. They just wouldn't.
Yeah,
exchange,
surely not. But our latest rumor today, as it goes, is Shirky to somewhere Chelsea as well. And the recycled journalism about Caicedo. Don't worry. Fabrizio Tappin is coming in very, very soon, I suppose.
He needs a tap in after today. He needs a tap in. And also, where's Ornstein? Ornstein has been missing for like 5 days, by the way.
He has.
I don't know if
he's gonna drop a big bombshell soon.
Do you know what? He's probably gone for 5 days with his missus. Fabrizio's here today actually trying to break news that Man City are buying a Man United 16-year-old. That is what he was coming with today.
I've never heard of him, by the way.
That is exactly. I'm like, Cass, who's this? And it's not like a 16-year-old everyone's talking about. It's just
I usually know the youngsters as well, Man United.
Fabrizio's here struggling. Watch Ornstein arrive back from like 5 days in the Maldives with his missus with some absolute bombshell tomorrow or Friday.
Do you think he ever has a break? I suppose he has a break for like 3 months, doesn't he? And then just rocks up again for January.
So my friend, one of my close friends from school, runs about 4 quite big football websites. And one year he booked to go Vegas, and by mistake it was a year where the transfer window fell on a different date or something, and his flight happened that he was in air during the transfer deadline day. And he lost thousands and thousands because you just ultimately, the minute the transfer window's shut, that's where all these men can just go chill out for a bit. But while the transfer
poor cannot have internet on at the airport.
To be fair, it was a couple of years ago, and he probably. Have you ever used that internet on air? Though it's not the best.
Yes. I just think everything now can be done over the phone. I don't think you have to.
Oh, you think that? But I've struggled to get reception around here, bro.
Yeah. Let's start this off before Deji comes as well to talk on stuff which I'm pretty sure it's going to be any minute. Let's talk on Chelsea, man. Let's talk about Chelsea's window. Why are they having the best window of every single Premier League club at this current moment of time? Because whilst they're not doing a lot of incomings, they got a lot of outgoings, and we all know that we've spoken about this for ages, right, Alex? Like saying, he's got rid of this player's going there. It's all happening. Would you say that Chelsea are right now in pole position having the best window? Because you are going to have secure some incomings very soon.
The reason why I won't say that we have best one, I will say we have the best for trolling purposes, because every single one people on the planet Earth said that the biggest Chelsea's problem is they're not gonna get rid of all those players. They're on the high wages. Nobody ever said that we will do it. We've done it pretty much in 1 month. All those players, all of a sudden, gone. And now everybody that says Hussam, I need to see if the all this dead wood is gonna be gone. Now what you saying? The dead wood is gone. So that's my biggest thing. We've done we've done it in 1 month. There's still a couple of lugs left at Chelsea. Don't get me wrong, like Lakaka, that's one of the biggest lugs that we still have. But I think it will be done by the end of the transfer window. I'm happy that we are doing it slightly slower than what, for example, we did the last summer. Somebody actually has like the leash on that bowler. Like if he like pushes too wide, somebody has the leash on him and is like, hey, pull back. We don't need that. So I think in that point, I think we're doing it fine.
Your strategy is second to none right now, and it's crazy because we all know Chelsea. Like as much as this, like you can say, it's a new regime, it's a new Chelsea. Some things stay the same. Chelsea are very good at getting rid of players and get very good prices, and they're also very good at just bouncing back from awful seasons. It's just embedded. Sometimes the club it's just that way. The fans, you could say, sometimes the fans control the narrative of how a club operates, right? Chelsea are more, you could say, a little bit more sport want it now, and it's because you've been the most successful team in the last 20 years. At this moment of time, you won the most trophies, right? And it's especially very good ones at that. Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, Carrot, you won it all, right? So the way I look at it is like your strategy right now is halfway nearly through July. We count June as well, of course, and then it's the end halfway through. You probably sold every bit of deadwood you need to. And then now you probably can be focused now. Okay, cool. We've just got the last one out the door in Pulisic. Loftus-Cheek's gone now. Potentially Gallagher, but I think he's going to stay put for a season. I can't see anyone else in his team that needs to leave anymore, Kendall, right? And I look at, Alex, if you want to ask first, now you're probably going to see Chelsea go and do what Chelsea do best.
I think we're doing the slow way based on, for example, I'll give example. It's the best way to express it. For example, if we land that specific midfielder, let's say Caicedo and stuff like that, we can address the different position in that time, because we don't need to buy a bunch of players based on one game a week. So we don't have to work on the 10,000 people at once to bring. It can affect one thing. If we get Caicedo, and all of a sudden we'll be open to Lavia or other guy, all of a sudden you will see Blunt Mount might leave Chelsea and Tottenham will get him. You see what I'm saying? Like that's how you can go into the transfer market for the last 2 months. Yeah. One domino, it's like a domino effect. One done, something else.
Caicedo's absolutely twerking though, isn't he? Like he's actually
he really is.
twerking. Why? Like literally
because Chelsea is a good team.
He wants Chelsea. And the other thing is apparently he's
why Tonali went to Newcastle?
He's agreed personal terms. So obviously
for the last 3 weeks, Daps.
Huh? No, but even it doesn't matter. Apparently he agreed them ages ago. What I'm saying is that he's agreed personal terms. So why is he twerking? Because he's agreed personal terms. He's seen what he's about to get. He knows what he's currently on. He probably, to be fair, knows what Arsenal were going to offer him in January. And now he knows what Chelsea are offering him. So that's why he's twerking, because he's seen it.
I've never seen any so many comments from one player though about like
Mudryk.
I can't wait to go to this team.
You don't remember Mudryk working to Arsenal?
Did he do? No. Oh yes, I do.
Sorry, Hi Deji.
It does make sense. I mean, you got to understand that this brother at the moment is currently being paid $3,000 a week at Brighton.
He's not. Surely not.
He's as dusty as $3,000. I think he signed. So remember, they only bought him for $3 million. So how much were they going to offer him? He was an unknown. They haven't changed his contract. They haven't upgraded it at all. And he can now get 100 times that at Chelsea. I'll be tweeting. I'll be shaking my bum. You be seeing me with Floyd Mayweather in his strip club out in Las Vegas, mate. Chelsea. And guess what? He can get to Chelsea on $300,000 a week.
He's not.
And he might not play.
Did he not get a new contract in January though?
Yeah, he did.
I thought he did.
It's still going to be.
He's not getting 300K at Chelsea.
Either way, it's still going to be a significant.
Yeah, it's going to be a big jump.
It's going to be a significant difference, and the other thing is that he's going to probably be tying him for 5 years as well. So, listen, I get it. Potentially. I don't know about all of that stuff. That ain't my business. But look, I think Chelsea have done a sterling job, and you know what? If we look a little bit deeper than this season coming, that the way Chelsea have done business so far since the new sporting director has come in, so far this summer, is promising, right? Because the whole thing was with Todd Bowley, and maybe even you might even say to a certain extent, the way that Roman did business, yeah, that you could say that isn't the way we want business to be done, right? The way this summer business has been done looks like Pochettino has a massive say in how this business is being done, which to Chelsea fans, they'll be like, hold on, we've got a manager that is now coming in and we've got an owner that is giving the manager a good sporting director to work together and actually take us into the next stage. So I actually think away from this, even if Chelsea don't come amazing this season, the fact that the board are now listening to what Poch wants, getting rid of the players he doesn't want, and going, right, now we go and get a smaller squad. And it's a promising sign from Chelsea that they're kind of maybe learning from the way we did it, learning, because we learned from the way they did it, by the way. We have to say, we learned from how Chelsea did it. Newcastle learning from City. If Chelsea new owner comes in, why can't Chelsea's new owner actually learn from the way us in Newcastle are doing it? Because it's football evolves. And I don't know, it's maybe it's positive signs for
I'll
Chelsea.
take City. I don't think we'll learn from Newcastle. I think it's too early to say about Newcastle. Like the way,
I think it's too early, but
the progression. I'm saying the progression in Newcastle, it's going right.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying we're learning from them, but it's going
I
right
hope,
way the
I
way
hope
they
we
want.
can learn from Chelsea. We get now our Deadwood out as well. Like, does
Yeah.
does anyone
Yeah,
like
that's
want
fair.
Jeff Hendrick? Like, can we just sell Jeff Hendrick
see
to
what I'm
Saudi
saying?
for like
I've never even heard of him.
75 million?
Who's
And
Jeff
that's
Hendrick?
to finish what you said about like
Hendrick's
this is
still
why
playing.
I think I was the only one that blamed Todd Bowley only up until the January. And my only blame was with Bowley is why did you have to get the manager and sack Tuchel before you got the football director? You should have gone get a football director. The first hiring you should have done. That should be the Todd Bowley's first
But
job.
you got asked who was advising. There was someone that was advising
But
him.
that's
Who
what I'm
was
saying.
advising him is the question.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That was the only one, and that's why when I hear a guy like he's like, "Oh, Chelsea is in disarray," and I was like, I was upset the way it happened until the last season January transfer window, and when I saw the January transfer window, that's I knew I was like, "There's no reason to panic about the owners yet," because they realized they made a mistake, and they trying currently to fix it.
Yeah.
They start to fix, and they literally did it in a month.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah, I
it's
agree with
early
that.
to judge because it's only been a season with that group, but so far
but
I'm okay with it.
The thing is, and this is where I feel Newcastle, from a City's fans' point of view, I respect what Newcastle have done so far because, you know, look, there were certain things that maybe early doors our previous chairman, Gary Cook, he did. And I'm not meaning, hold on, I'm not meaning the reason with Gary Cook why he got sacked, but I'm meaning some of the players that got brought in hindsight, they were no good for the club. They were mercenaries. And look, Zabaleta spoke about it when he first arrived at City. There were some players there that he never name dropped them, but he said, I didn't like it because he was tarnishing all of us. We were there, me, Vinny, a few others. We were there for the project. We were there because we believed. There were certain players that were there, nothing to do with the project. They were there to secure the bag and only secure the bag. Didn't even want to learn English, didn't want to be around the other members of the squad. They just wanted to be there for a couple of seasons to secure the bag. And I do feel like Newcastle have kept straight away from the start. They're trying to keep that team harmony together that maybe we didn't do and we didn't care about at the start. And that maybe is why Newcastle they've skipped, to be frank with you. This summer, Cass thought it was mad that I thought Newcastle were going to break top 6, right? Newcastle broke top 4. That's ahead of the curve, 100%. They have
Chelsea is impossible to
the
do
one
it.
that, just saying.
So I don't expect you to do that either. But what I'm saying is that Newcastle learnt from us. They did, and they didn't do certain mistakes. Look, it might be for different reasons. It might be that now there's a spotlight on them, and they know we can't go and start signing Robinho and Adebayor and paying everyone this, because I've already seen it, to be frank with you, the way some fan bases are turning on Newcastle already. Yeah, they didn't turn on us till we won a trophy and took food off their plate. Fan bases are turning on Newcastle already. Yeah.
I think you're giving too much props to. I think you got turned immediately on Manchester City, because everything what Abramovich was doing, City start doing it, and the Premier League all of a sudden is like, you know what? Let's introduce FFP.
At that level, I mean more the fans though. The fans, not so much.
Yeah.
No, the owners, hell yeah, the owners, straight away.
But the fans, if you really want to know about the fans, there's nobody compare. But Newcastle fan base, it's slightly different level of City at that point when City got
That's
bought.
fair. It is fair.
One thing that Newcastle always have, and above everybody, even above the Chelsea, at the point when Chelsea was from Roman Abramovich, they had the current fan base that Chelsea didn't have at that point. City did not have. Only Newcastle had. So from them, those players that will come originally and stuck by them, they will always be those players for them, and fans will stand behind them. I think that's the only way that you can look at this situation.
Yeah, I think that's fair, because I mean, the truth of the matter is, City had a core 35,000. That was our core. Like, even in the third
same as Chelsea, about 40, 45.
Whereas now, and when I say core, I mean third tier of English football, 35,000 week in, week out. Newcastle, what is it, 50?
52, yeah.
So I do hear what you're saying. They've got the City on lock, to be frank.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no rivalry in that city.
Let me ask the people. There's 520 of you in here. One sec, Dej. There's 520 of you in here. Do you mind smashing the like button if you haven't done so now? It's a friendly reminder. I know facts. This can go straight up to 200. Like you lot did earlier, straight to 100. Now you can go straight to 200. We want at least 350 likes by the end of the video, if possible. So just make sure you just don't forget to leave that. You know exactly where. Stop being lazy. You lot are lazy. Yeah, this is free content. People are giving up their nights so they entertain you guys, and more times ourselves as well. But yeah, go on, Deji. What you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say, for me, I'm not just saying it because Kendall's here, but I've been a big fan of Newcastle and what they're doing, because for me, even though they've got the big owners, they're the richest club in world football technically, with the owners backing them, they've actually gone and done things the right way, unlike City and Chelsea. Do you get what I'm saying? For me, I like the fact that they've gone in and bought players that they could have got even without the owners being there. Pope and I think the biggest thing that Eddie Howe did is he took Joe Linton from striker into midfield, and mate, what a transformation! Yeah. So for me, I'm kind of surprised there from Daps that people are kind of hating on Newcastle.
I'm
Newcastle ain't really.
I don't think
Newcastle haven't even started to flex their piece.
No,
you know what? Right, it's not even delusional. Right, look at this Tonali signing. Every single comment is actually ridiculous. It's like, he's so depressed. He's so good. It's literally coming from a place that people don't want it to work. Like that, I just don't even get it.
Welcome to the big league.
But you know what? I'm going to be honest.
Alex, I'm not used to it, right? Because I'm used to being so crap.
Exactly.
I'm not used
Nobody
to
cared about you. There is no comments. All of a sudden.
Alex, do you know how bad it is? Hold on. Do you know how bad it is that there's a member of our fan base that actually is probably the most recognised at a commercial level,
let's talk about it,
representative of Manchester City's fan base, right? Like, I don't know him. I can tell you now, none of the fans that I go to games with know him. We ain't never seen him at no games, right? I've never seen him home, away, Europe, never seen him, right? I'm not saying he doesn't go, but I've never seen him, okay? But he is the biggest representative commercially of Manchester City. Now, it kind of also tells me that he doesn't get being a Manchester City fan the way he's talking about Newcastle and the way he's disrespecting Newcastle.
Say his name, by the way.
Oh, I'll say it, Buvey. No problem whatsoever. I don't know what his real name is, but
I seen him today, by the way. Just to let everyone know, because
we didn't know overlap today.
What? So they still let him on after that?
It wasn't the overlap actually. It was something different. But so I did see him today, and I did pull him up on it, not on camera because it was a bit of a different setup. So there wasn't it wasn't like a debate situation. So I did pull him up on it actually because I walked in and I just may as well tell a story. Like he'll know that I'm telling a story. So I walked in. And there was like tea and coffee and stuff for us there and food. Actually, that was the first time we've ever had food. I don't know, I'm getting big time now. I'm getting the food, getting the finger sandwiches, right? Anyways,
prawn.
No, actually, there was a few different. wasn't quite prawn sandwich brigade, but I was that wouldn't have minded that. So I walked in and there was like tea and coffee and bottles of water, and I was like, oh, I'm gutted because there's no £2.50 Sambuca shots here. And he looked up. and he didn't say anything and he didn't bite, and I was gutted because I was like, oh, I really wanted to bite there. Anyway, I just left it, and then I sat in the corner, and I had there was like food, and there was like cakes and like pastas and stuff like that, and I didn't want my cakes. Like they just give us a tray, like a cardboard tray to put it in, and I didn't want my pasta touching my cakes because I was like, that's disgusting.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, so I asked for another, like a separate tray, and I carried like 2 boxes over, so I looked like fat pig really because I had 2 boxes of food, but it was just because it was separate stuff. And I walked over and I was like, oh, look at this, I'm definitely feeding it the fat Geordie bird stereotype because I've got 2 plates of food here. And he looked up and he was like,
what did he say? For people that don't know, what did he say? What was the comment?
Oh, he said Newcastle's just full of fat birds drinking £2.50 Sambuca. So I said to him, he looked up and he went, oh, look, I just really want to say sorry for that. I'm really, really sorry about that. And I said, well, it's not me you want to be apologising to. I said, it's like literally a whole city that you've offended. And I said, by the way, the one thing you got wrong, there's a Bournemouth fan, by the way, called Tom, who literally overheard this whole conversation.
Buvey makes that 117 charges now.
And he was like, I went, by the way, you did get one thing wrong. And he was like, what? And I was like, Sambuca's only £1 in Newcastle. I was like, it's not £2.50. And he was like, all right.
But look, the thing is, he should know, ultimately, even down to what he said, forget that bit, that won't be forgotten. We don't need to speak on that because I'm sure his sponsors and whatever, they'll definitely be speaking to him about that. But if he represents Manchester City, like to act the way he acted, to say, oh, this player's gone there and he's realised and now he wants to go to Manchester City. Like, no, you can't do that. We were you. Like, we were you. To act like now all of a sudden, it's just like, you don't get it. You don't get us. And ultimately, this is not a representation of the City the core game-going City fan base. So it is what it is. But I'm glad you called him up on
Chelsea don't claim Rory Jennings either.
Exactly. And them two are 2 of a kind.
He was there actually as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I was on Take Me Out literally 5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you go to the Isle of, what's it called?
No.
Anyways,
I didn't keep my light on, but anyways, go on.
King Du says, big up the panel from the States. If top 4 is the goal for Chelsea, will they finish above Newcastle this season? I'm going to actually go on to that part in a second. Give me a second with that one. And M. Tarmizi says, Salam Kasaki, Salam wa alaikum salam, my guy. He says, good morning. Good morning. Where are you from? Must be Australian, maybe. Let me know where you're from. Yeah, I've seen him. He's in the chat all the time. Big up everyone. Heard Kamada, one of the Asian ballers I've been watching partially. We saw him for Japan. You remember that? So Japan, DM, solid in the middle, linked with Newcastle and Spurs. And I think he's going on a free, if I'm correct, as well.
Levy would be all over that.
That would be a major signing. Oh my word! If Spurs or Newcastle, if you're gonna have to choose one,
Levy's hungry. But Levy will be like, yo. That is PR.
Usually, if we're linked, though, it's not happening. Like if we're linked, it doesn't tend to happen. Usually, that's like the case now.
Spurs are dipping into the Bundesliga market. Deji, you must be quite happy to know that you're actually looking to go for both centre backs as well. But I was just going to lead on to Tottenham, because we were talking about Chelsea having the best window. I'm going to put it maybe towards Tottenham if you get these 2 signs over the line. I think you lot are doing wicked. It's better than Harvey Barnes. So I was just going to ask you, like, if Newcastle going to act like a serious team, Kendall said it herself. She doesn't know how to act like a big timer yet. She's not used to it. Getting linked to people like Harvey Barnes, come on, they got to be doing better, right? Surely.
That's shameless.
It depends on the competition. Like, what's the purpose of him in the team? That's the whole reason.
The thing is, what I'm going to say, Deji, before you answer, is Harvey Barnes is actually a very good player. I like the guy. I like him. But when your backup is, or competition is Anthony Gordon, aka Princess Diana, like, I just don't understand.
It's not though.
Oh my word, they're both left wingers.
No, can we just have a conversation here? Because this is why I was literally confused about the Harvey Barnes thing, because I didn't really understand it. We've got Joe Linton plays there for a start.
Left wing, yeah.
Left wing. St. Maximin plays there.
He just called him amazing midfielder a minute ago. But
but he just played there out wide. It actually has done when we've lost players. St. Maximin plays there as well. Isaac plays there. Wilson's playing as a 9. Anthony Gordon, obviously. And then Harvey Barnes. That's lovely depth there. 5 left wingers, lovely. Fantastic scenes.
It's great depth if you're trying to act like David Moyes' Everton about 13, 15
why?
years ago.
I don't understand why, because Harvey Barnes isn't Harvey Barnesinho, like from Brazil. If everyone was literally, if it was Harvey Barnesinho from wherever, people be like, "Oh, get this player for 35 million, love it," because it's Harvey Barnes from relegated Leicester. Everyone's like, "Oh,
No, it's not.
Hold on a
Gutted.
second. Who's the
Gutted.
backup to Rashford?
Garnacho.
What the?
woo."
Who?
What do you mean who? It's not. I'm not being funny. The guy's 18 years of age, and Rashford is better than both them players by
Do you
double.
have 5 left wing backups? No, you don't. There we go. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
cool. We're talking about
No,
Champions
what-
League. We're talking about Champions League football.
I doubt
yeah?
Harvey Barnes is going to be our winger in the Champions League. I'm not going to lie.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Yeah, we're talking about Champions League football. Yeah, and you still employ Dan Burns. Yeah, as your first team's left back, right?
Yes.
Don't get me started on that.
There's still
You're telling
2
me
months of the window.
Dan Burns going to be linking up with Harvey Barnes off the left. That's a very.
No,
Well,
he's
you still
not
got
though.
you still
I
got
mean,
Harry
I-
Maguire. You still
I
got Harry
promise
Maguire.
you, we are not going to go into the season with Dan Burn as left back.
I just, for me, the whole thing with Newcastle being linked to Harvey Burns. I mean,
Yeah,
Dan Burn's brother.
you know, Harvey Barnes. But for me, I just don't get it because you have the opportunity to buy whoever you want. You can get decent players.
We
Now,
don't.
for
No,
me,
this is the complete. We don't.
I hear what you're saying, but the measure of clubs, you know, I was just debating with Arsenal fans just a moment ago and saying, when you take a step back, Kai Havertz, Declan Rice, and Shivamy Timbers, is that enough for Arsenal to compete with City and go toe to toe?
As Arsenal going,
I'm not so sure. I think it's much of a must in my view. So Newcastle, you finished third last season. You got to be pushing on.
We didn't. We finished 4th.
That's the way I look at it. See,
But you got to be pushing on. The players that
think-
you're bringing in are not taking you to the next level. It's almost like you want to kind of stay the same.
Yeah, but we literally don't have depth. Like
I
at
think-
all. This
let
is
me
my issue.
let me put my 5 cents in it. I'll let you look from the different angle of the situation. Do you know why the teams that usually get to Europa Leagues from the bottom teams every year there's a couple of Europe like a low teams like Fulham got to Europa, West Ham got to Europa all of a sudden, and they do it well one season and all of a sudden we drop next season. I think Newcastle is trying to establish themselves as a top 4 team first. I don't think they're making a bet on winning the Champions League. I don't think that's what they're doing. So if you understand that point of view, you will be looking to Barnes different way. Because you were saying like Inacho, whatever, kid, yes, he's decent. What I'm saying is like if you battle on the too many fronts, you can lose all of them.
No, I hear what you're saying,
That's a
but
good argument.
yeah, exactly. This is the whole point of a debate show, right? But the way I'm looking at it, it's not that I'm not hating on Newcastle. I'm not actually doing none of that. You know what? I look at Newcastle.
You did call us garbage last season, though.
That's just own it. Just own it.
No,
I was
no,
watching. Hold on. The other day I
Oh.
was watching a show. I think it was around lunchtime. It was one that I wasn't on. It was one with you and Mo. But I support the channel and I watch them all. And you actually did this speech where you said, "Do you know what? Yeah, I do have a slight agenda against Newcastle.
course,
So
but not in
own
this
it, bro. Own it. Don't deny it.
Of
You
course,
got
I have
it.
the slight agenda on Newcastle, but at that situation, I would said not at this point. I'm not trying to have agendas against nobody. What I don't understand is what Deji said. I'm gonna go off what Deji said. Right? He said, if you just finish 4th, I'm looking at Newcastle as a club to maybe push on, as a club as well. And it might be hard at this moment of time, pause. But the way I'm looking at it is Harvey Barnes is not that solution. Whether
Right,
he's
Cass.
30 million, 40 million, 50 million, I think just because, as Kendall said, got Joe Linton's play there, got Joe Willock to go there.
But we're
I
not
think-
buying him to be a solution. We're buying him to be an addition.
Newcastle. I'm looking at Newcastle currently, right? And I'm thinking you need a left back, you need a right back, you need other areas to address to establish yourself, even in Europe
Yeah,
itself.
why are we
I'm
getting
looking-
carried away? Tony, we've got 2 months left.
No, but the way I hear that, but you man are moving slow. But I'm just saying, along the lines of all I'm going along the lines of is this: we all go to pre-season and we all talk about getting the nitty gritty and getting it together as a squad and all this kind of stuff. You want to talk about challenging all fronts, which ain't going to be Newcastle's goal. So the way I look at it with Newcastle, evidently last season, and I'm going to talk about evidence here. Last season, right? You talk about depth, but we're going to talk about quality and depth. You lot got knackered after playing midweek games, just midweek games. And I'm thinking that midfield needs addressing, right? Big time. Yes, you got Tonali, but you need more, in my opinion.
So
You've got your
before
Joe Willox. But
Kendall, before you answer this, Cass, can I
Go
ask
on.
you a question?
What?
Everything you have said, because this is I have to be very clear on this. And remember, this is a debate show. This is not a rival show.
Of course.
Everything you've just said, is that you hosting or is that you as a United fan?
No, this is me hosting.
Okay, then I won't say what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I'm just saying it like that. I think there's just other areas to address, and I'm thinking you got cover for left wing potentially. Right wing is I don't know what's going on over there at this moment of time. right?
That's right.
The armor on. With a drop
I
off from
don't know
Bruno
what's going on over
Gomes, you can put Tonali there. Don't get me wrong, but you still got Sean Longstaff. I'm thinking of high energy team as what my man's saying in there. But then you say Ben Botman gets injured. Who's going in? Dan Burn.
I know, but this is what I'm saying. We're not.
I'm trying to say. I just don't get the sign. All I'm saying, I don't get the sign. I'm not ruining the signing, but I think like it could be something else before that one comes in. I just don't understand.
Yeah, but there's still months of the window.
Sometimes
I would understand this argument. I would understand this argument if it was like the end, like the middle of August, and we were like, "Oh God, we haven't signed a left back, we haven't signed a right winger, we haven't signed a DM." I would understand the argument then, but at the moment, we're literally just trying to establish depth because there will be Fraser will be outgoing probably. Possibly St. Maximin. I don't want him to, and I don't necessarily think he will, but he might. We've got like Hendrick and Clark and Hayden and all of these players who are going to be leaving, who literally don't serve any purpose anymore to us as a team who are trying to establish ourselves as some of the best in the league. Like, there's still
sometimes
stuff.
You have to get.
He's versatile. He fills a couple of positions. We're going to have three.
But do you know what's more important
year?
than all of this as well? That sometimes, right, a player is one, easier to get, right?
Quicker.
And two, if where Newcastle are, you're right. I don't believe Harvey Barnes is going to be Newcastle's like they're going to put him as their marquee signing, he's not going to be their marquee signing. But at the price at his age, they might think we want him as a squad player.
On the relegation team.
Yeah, we've targeted him. We want him. But at that price, we're worried that one or two, and they might have information from agents that one or two other clubs are circling. And they're like, do you know what? This is an easy one to get done and also a risky one that if we don't get it done, someone else is going to get him, right? So let's get that done. It doesn't mean it's their main target. When we got Jack Grealish, Jack Grealish was not our main target, and it was very obvious. We got him done because it was a release clause. Harry Kane was our main target, and everyone said, "Oh, you shouldn't have got Grealish. You should have put the money towards Kane." No. The idea was we got both, but unfortunately, getting Kane off of Levy is a lot more difficult than getting Grealish when it's release clause, 100 million, drop it and walk away. So
let me ask you a question.
That's fair enough then. If you're
let me ask you a question, Kaz. Let me ask you a question then. So you saying that Newcastle wasn't supposed to be in the top four last season? Based on
no, I didn't say there wasn't supposed to be. I said I couldn't see the start of the season. I couldn't see them being top four.
Exactly. So what I'm saying, like, and they have the problems that they have in the squad to get there. Those problems are still there. If they didn't supposed to, let's use that word, supposed to be in the top four. What do you think that they're supposed to get upgrade for the Europe when they are not actually on the steady feet to get top four?
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a good question. To be fair, I just wanna. I'm the same with Newcastle. I look at them in a different light now,
Agreed.
and that's where I'm putting them to. See, I don't want. Kendall's not, as she said, and she probably can speak.
Pogba signings, Maguire signings. I think they brainwashed you.
No, but
I'm saying
I get this part, but that's due to lack of direction because you go get Pogba, but guess what? You leave Pogba in the midfield that's absolutely average and nothing around it. You give him someone that can't even run no more. It makes no sense. But I hear what Kendall's trying to say. She's not used to this, but I'm putting them on that pedestal. We all say the top six above Tottenham now. You said it. We've said it. Actually, to be fair, I don't know if you said it.
I'll give you different analogies.
Definitely said it. I've said it.
I know people want us to be making people want us to be going in for people like Anna, like Camavinga and that. We're not going to. Like, it's just not. It's not happening. And I need people to understand like where we are. And I know people are going to say, "Oh, Tim Pot," like because you're not on the level of like getting that sort of player yet.
Tim Pot, by the way.
No, not you. We're just not like it's just not going to be. We're not going to like annihilate our wage structure for like a Hollywood signing just because of a Hollywood signing. Eddie Howe's very system. Like he loves system. He loves a player that can be versatile. He loves a player that can fit into a certain style. And he obviously thinks him and the recruitment team obviously think Harvey Barnes is good for that. And as Daps said, some deals are just easier to do than others, which is what we've tended to go for. Like if you've looked at. If you believe the whole Szoboszlai thing that we were in for Szoboszlai, I mean, a lot of outlets did report, and I believe that we were. I don't think we bid or anything, but I think we were definitely interested in there. That deal on the outset. Oh yeah, definitely hurt me. I hated that deal. But that deal on the outset looked easy to do because there was a release clause. But obviously we've caught wind of Liverpool wanting to go. Szoboszlai wanted to go to Liverpool. We were like, well, we'll just step away. We're not interested in like at this current time, in my opinion, going out battling for people. So the deals that we've done have been quick. Like we've gauged our interest, done it straight away, and got it cracked on. So that's why
I'll give you a different analogy. I'll give you a different analogy. If I will compare Newcastle club to Hollywood child actor, if you bring that much attention to it, it could be a crackhead in 2-3 years.
So it's
you see what I'm saying?
Home Alone, basically.
You get spoiled.
No, but
you get spoiled. You don't have to.
But the other thing is, we can compare it back to we can compare it to exactly what I just said at City, right? That.
Oh, here we go.
No. When we made the signings, right, we went out and said, let's take, for example, Robinho. He's a perfect example that we went out and we did the Robinho, the one that everyone wants to see Newcastle make, right? And then there's when we went out, and let me give an example, we did Zabaleta, right, who no one really knew about. I had my friend who's an Arsenal fan saying he's a utility player. No one knows where he plays. Yeah,
no one knew Zabaleta.
No, but bro, I'm not saying no one, but there was definitely people out there that knew Robinho and didn't know of Zabaleta, yeah? Whereas, because at the time, let's be real, bro, he was a defender for Argentina who were not renowned at that point for an amazing defense. He was also a utility player. He was a defender stroke midfielder, right? We went and got him, right? Fair enough. We went and got him, and people would have gone, well, Robinho is the one that we, like, there will be Newcastle fans, probably very young at the moment, like City fans at the moment that want us still to buy Neymar to this day, yeah, that think that's what Newcastle should do. But in hindsight, when you sit there and look at it, which one came in, which one became a club legend, which one actually settled down, lived in student accommodation, went to the local pub, ate chips and curry, played pool with the locals, and embedded himself in Manchester City and became part of the culture, and actually people will put him in one of the top however many right backs in Premier League history. Yeah. So I'm not saying Harvey Barnes is going to be that, but I do get what they're doing. At the same time, I do also think that Newcastle should be aiming higher than Harvey Barnes.
Exactly, because if they just look, just to wrap it up on my, you can actually come back. You just bought a left winger in January. Why are you going to go get another one all of a sudden when you got people that can play? That's what I just don't get. But as you said, it might be just one of those deals that are easy to complete since they are relegated and since. You know, if it is a 30 million, what's 30 million these days? That's just cheap.
As I said, but people are pointing like, oh, they should be aiming higher. We know, because at the end of the day, we don't have the depth that other squads around us do. Like, we literally have nothing. Like, we've got a first 11 and a couple of extra little like things here and there, but we don't have the depth because we were literally neglected for so long. So he isn't coming in to be our starting left winger. He's not coming in to be like the solution to a problem that we have. He's coming in to be an addition to our system, a versatile player, and I genuinely don't see a negative to it at all.
Also,
I really
he's
don't.
low risk. He's low risk on money. He's low risk on money.
Did you say?
Yeah, he will be in that system. Loads of the players that weren't versatile before will be this time.
I've never seen that guy play anywhere else but left wing. But all right, let me just do the super chats, anyways. That was a bit cheeky for me. Murad
when
said,
are you not cheeky?
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
That's my whole.
Especially about Newcastle.
Yeah. Murad said, would United fans take Matoma over Garnacho? No. Why am I going to take a guy that's 26 years old over an 18-year-old prospect that's probably going to be a world beater or looking on course to being one in the future potentially? No chance. I think Matoma's very good though, but not for Man United. I think the left-hand side's done for me. I'm talking as a United fan. Anthony says Spurs have the best transfer window like last season. Richarlison. Well, I want to talk about Spurs' transfer window because I rate it very highly at the moment. Salman Amin says, sorry if I said your name wrong. It says, as we speak now, based on last season, Arsenal, Man United, and Newcastle are on the same level. What? Arsenal are just top of that group and Newcastle bottom, but the same group.
So he's saying that you three, that Arsenal, Man United, and Newcastle.
You're going to have to send me another one.
Yeah, no, he's saying they're at a similar level. Arsenal, Newcastle, and Man United.
I think
Arsenal have not... I mean, I personally think Arsenal have moved up a bit, but
I think he will move down.
I think so.
If it was only Rice, I'll give him 10 out of 10. Vesai Havertz, I'll give him 7 out of 10.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Arsenal have definitely moved over that bracket. I think he's talking just on the transfer window alone, maybe. Anthony says, Daps, do you remember Michael Johnson? I swear he was talking about him.
Yeah. Michael Johnson, absolute legend. Yeah, man. Michael Johnson was actually like of the era, kind of roundabout Sean Wright-Phillips, definitely Micah Richards, Joe Hart, Stephen Ireland. When we got bought out, Michael Johnson was like being tipped as the guy, like as the kind of 8 ultimately, maybe attacking 8, and he got injured, and it was a really bad injury. Came back from injury, got injured again, and then unfortunately, like with so many footballers, you know, when you've been you know what? If you imagine being at a club like Manchester City, the way we were, just as we get bought out and there's stars joining, he got injured, right? So when he's come back from injury, all of a sudden getting in the team is a lot tougher than it ever was, right?
It must be tough getting over at Stephen Ireland.
Well, no, so he was far better than Stephen Ireland, but he couldn't get in over Stephen Ireland. Then he got another injury, and it got to the point, unfortunately, where mental health got the better of him, and he just couldn't, you know, it's that age where they're still young, and yeah, and unfortunately, he was supposed to be a baller, very similar to Paul Lake back in the day as well, many moons ago.
Murad says, when Pep leaves, who do you see as the right manager? Just a quick one. Oh, that's a bit bait.
Do you know what? So last season, I said a few times that I actually thought Arteta. He knows the club the most. He knows the club the most. I like Arteta. I like Arteta as a manager. But now his allegiances are with Arsenal. Pep said it. He loves Arsenal. He's not going to go nowhere. And even if he did, no, we wouldn't go there now. So I think, look, I think Pep is going to have a massive say in who our next manager is. And at this point, with who we spoke about, I'd probably say that on the short list is Vinny. But I know Vinny has said he will only take the job if he feels he's ready. He's not willing to take the City job if he doesn't feel he's ready. And the other one is De Zerbi as well. I think De Zerbi, probably Pep's looking at De Zerbi thinking, oh, he could be tasty. But for me, it's a short list. We've got 2 years, and I think Pep and the board will be working on it already. Or alternatively, Pep will be thinking about staying, one of the two.
And I'm thinking about people running up these likes to 300 already as well. 45 minutes in, 47 should I say, and there's 242 likes. Guys, come on, man. Smash the like button, get them up. It helps the video and everything, and it just pushes to next people. We're nearly on 12K, so if you have not exactly subscribed yet and you're thinking about it, it's a good time as a reminder to subscribe as well, as much as people as like our friends, which you can find in the description below, like Monts, Big Six Bants, Kunle on One Touch TV.
I'm just gonna bear with me, people.
Let me talk about Spurs, Dej. You've been really quiet as well. Like, apologies, it's probably Daps' fault. It's Daps' fault. Spurs, I think you lot are compared to last windows, compared to this window, you lot are making some serious moves if it's going to be true. You know, you got Udeji in, and you could suppose that's already a last window trying, but he's coming in. Let's just say that's a fresh player. You got Vicario in, very cheap. Anything better than Lloris is a plus, right?
Yeah.
You might have 2 new centre backs coming. You might have Lenglet on a permanent. You just signed on a permanent. You just got James Maddison, and I don't think that's exactly where it ends. And there's rumours that Sanchez might be leaving, alongside Oliver Skip as well. He might be leaving. So you're clearing out some deadwood slowly but surely as well, man. You must be quite happy as a Spurs fan, thinking, because I think you're definitely up in the top 3 having the best windows currently, if it's to be the way it sounds.
Yeah, Cass, I appreciate that. And first and foremost, you know what? For me, sometimes it's good to be quiet and listening to other fans. It's good to kind of hear from my brother there, Redneck Blue, listening about Chelsea and hearing about Newcastle. First and foremost, I just want to do a quick shout out before I give you my opinion of Spurs. Xavier, your face is boring, my brother. I saw your comment. Your face is boring. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, in relation to Spurs, Cass, this is why I rate you, because I've been saying, look, I'm not going to start shaking my bum for Postecoglou. I'm still on the fence. However, we are doing sensible business. We're trying to get out the deadwood in the form of Sanchez. We've got a replacement for Lloris in Vicario. Let's be real. No one can disrespect. Maddison is a great purchase. And if we bring in them 2 brothers, Van der Ven and Tobsoba from Leverkusen, then all of a sudden Tottenham is a different kettle of fish. We've sorted out Solomon today. He's going to be...
Yeah, I forgot about him as well.
Solomon's come in. That's the left-hand side pretty much sorted for Spurs. And now all of a sudden, the Tottenham team don't look so bad. And remember, now I said this on another show just a few minutes ago, and I was kind of shut down for it, but I think you can see what I see. Tottenham potential midfield And let's think, Basuma of Brighton, Bentancur, Maddison, that's not too bad. Son back in form with an attacking football. Because remember, part of Tottenham's problem was the fact that we had to play a dead system. Now we all know Postecoglou's going for broke. That means the shackles have been released. Son, Kulusevski, Kane, come on, my brother. And if we get in those two centre-backs, I think Tottenham got a decent enough squad. At least definitely challenging for top 6. I can't say
as well.
4, but we'll be up there.
If you heard the good things about the manager.
Basuma is a baller. Remember, 2 seasons
at
Emirates, he shut it down.
Yeah, I like Basuma. I wanted him at Chelsea last season. But what's the name? I just think the manager is unknown. I heard good things about him, the way he played against the big teams, but it's still unknown. That's the biggest worry. But for the Spurs fan, but otherwise, if you still can keep Kane, that will be the biggest one. If you can hold on to Kane until
that's the big part. If you want this window to be anything great, you need to hold him. You need to hold on.
We did say last January as well that Spurs had won the window, if you remember rightly.
They said that.
To be fair, no. Can I just say, to be fair, because I think the thing is, let's separate the players from the system. I do think legitimately we had a good summer transfer window, personally. However, if you're playing a dusty system that Conte was trying to get Tottenham to play, remember, he tried to have Kane, Son, and all of the players running around like Kenyan marathon runners. That's not how you play football, not with those players. And the thing is, one thing I like that Postecoglou did say, and I'm going to give him a little bit of credit for, you have to build a system round the players that you have. You cannot force players to play in your system. And that's where Conte went wrong. And I'm just saying, I'm not getting excited. I've seen too many Tottenham fans shaking their bum. I mean, it's only Celtic. It was only the J League. It was only the Aussie League. He is saying the right things, though. He is saying the right things, and he is putting his arm around the players. And just for that, I am grateful, because Conte, he was toxic for our club. The only other thing I would say, though, which is quite scary, is Postecoglou almost has a bit of an ego thing going on. So James Maddison, I think with James Maddison, the interview kind of went, I'm going to do my thing with or without you, mate. And apparently that was enough for James Maddison. That ain't going to be enough for Kane. You can't be telling Harry Kane, we are going to do our thing with or without you, because there is no way we can replace Kane. So for me, I think Tottenham got to keep Kane and let him go for free. We cannot sell Kane for 80 mil. That for me is like...
When you call that... Even for 100 million, you wouldn't sell Kane to somewhere like
Bayern. 100 mil, we'll sell him, but 80 mil, 70 mil,
can't buy nobody for 100 mil.
You're taking a piss.
Name me the player when Bayern Munich bought it for 100 mil.
Yeah, but rumors are actually, rumors are that a third bid is coming about 100 million euros, and that's not including the add-ons.
I don't believe that.
If Bayern Munich are ready to spend 100 mil, then we should sell. However, the 70 mil that they were offering is taking the piss. I mean, you can get Callum Wilson for more than 70 mil, so that's just taking the piss. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, fair enough. I think Tottenham they're looking quite bright. It might take them a long time to... No, I'm good. It might take some time for like Tottenham to gel, and that's the only downfall to it, because it won't be easy. And I'm interested to see what system he's gonna, because when the manager comes in, they have to play a little bit pragmatic before they go anywhere. Like you can see even Eddie Howe under Newcastle, you had to drop that line, but when he first came in, and then smash everyone, right? Yeah. Chelsea as well. It'll be interesting to see how Poch lines up first. It's probably going to be easy. You could say 4-2-3-1 can be a little bit pragmatic in itself. Look at Man United this season as well. Had to do it. Tottenham's gonna maybe have to do it because it's a bit naive. I remember even Arteta when he first came into Arsenal, right, which we're going to talk about, Declan Rice pretty much on the go. He had to play a bit pragmatic into his approach, because if not, you're going to be absolutely deluded to go and forth and think you're going to play your system straight away, and you're going to lose probably valuable points on that, right?
That's why I actually was a rate Newcastle manager, because there was a conversation a couple of seasons ago between him and what's that fraud that Chelsea hired, Harry Potter. which one, because those are the ones that actually raises up which one is going to reach the potentials as a manager, English manager. So quote, and I was thinking that what's his name, that Harry Potter is going to do. I was pulling for Harry Potter even before he joined Chelsea for one specific reason. When Eddie Howe got relegated with I forgot Brighton, I think
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth. The one thing I didn't like, he didn't adjust the system to try to survive the collapse and get relegated. He played the same style, which is attacking style, and he did not adjust, even trying to, when the way his bench was short that season. So for me, I didn't respect him for that specific reason, and I thought that he's not going to go. And I thought that he will fail in Newcastle for the same reason, because I thought Newcastle is not ready, especially in the January transfer, because they were on the relegation battle. I was like, how he's the one? If he's not changing that system, he's gonna get relegated with him. And Newcastle did not have players to play that kind of football in the first place. All of they've been playing is counter-attacking. My God, I was wrong about him, because he's the one that changed himself to play defensively, and the freaking Harry Potter didn't.
And Alex, you're spot on. This is why. You know what? At the start of the show, Cass said about Alex on for football, for talking facts about football. The truth is, you're right. And I said, probably about October time, I said it's mad that there's two English managers in Eddie Howe and Harry Potter.
That's why I like Eddie Howe, is the fact that he's English as well.
At that point,
you know
they were going to have in the January transfer window the biggest war chest in world football, right? And it's mad that that's all we've ever wanted. Yeah, everyone always goes on about let's give some England managers a chance. Yeah, and Eddie Howe, Kendall, you spoke on it before. It's because Eddie Howe has done the groundwork. Yeah, and I don't mean gone and just managed a Brighton team and done really well. And by the way, he has done well at Brighton. I expect him to come back and do well elsewhere. But Eddie Howe has really done the groundwork, like to a next level. He's gone and he's been around other clubs. He's been around not just the football side,
to the
everything.
Team. He went to the team to learn how to play defensively.
Everything.
Yeah, he went to Simeone. He went Atletico with Simeone. Then he learned under Klopp. He learned under the Danish national team manager as well. So he's went to a few different styles, few different systems, and it's worked perfectly. And the funny thing was that the kind of, what's the word, the negative that everyone was saying, the criticism of him when he signed as manager for Newcastle was, he can't set up a defence. And we were in a relegation battle at the time. They were like, you can't set up a defence. Bournemouth used to ship goals for fun, especially in his last season. And literally we had one of the best defences in the league last year. So hopefully we'll see it again this year. But the good thing was we weren't playing defensive football, if that makes sense. We were defending well, but also playing attacking football as well. So it was a perfect mix, really. So I just hope we can continue that this season, to be fair. Because
we're talking about Tottenham when they left.
Yeah. I don't know how we got into Eddie Howe.
I think, by the way, on Tottenham real quick, I am.
Because of systems. Because Deji mentioned systems about Conte.
I was very vocal at the start of the transfer window that I can't expect Tottenham based on the drop-off last season, where they were to where they ended, and I felt the struggling to get the manager, the fact that Levy is leading that, and it seems like, and the fact that Conte left kind of throwing shots to make it difficult to get any manager anyway. I thought Tottenham are going to struggle. This could be really bad for Tottenham. This could be Tottenham dropping away now, unfortunately. And Cass has been saying it, and obviously we live together, so I've been hearing him. I hadn't been hearing it, but then over the last probably about 72 hours, I've started deep in it and looking at Maddison instantly. At last, they've gone and got that creative midfielder they've needed for so long. And then a new goalkeeper. For me, Lloris has been dropping off for years, for absolutely years, and got a touch because of how good he was for France many moons ago. Then you look at the fact that the two centre-backs, they're looking, not one centre-back, two centre-backs, yeah? That's a bit more depth. The fact I have listened a little to a few interviews about their manager, and then what Cass said is true. They have a free hit. All of a sudden, there's no pressure on Tottenham no more. There's none of this expectations. All of a sudden, and that makes them dangerous. What Cass said earlier on was so spot on. He said that the signings Tottenham are making at the moment are kind of a bit similar to when Arteta first got to Arsenal, and that he bought some players that, and let's ignore the William one, but I'm meaning your Ben White's ultimately, your their goalkeeper. They made some signings that people are like, well, they're not blowing me away, but there were signings now in hindsight that they were involved in the project. They got the project. They wanted to be involved in the project. And to me, look, we don't know yet because we've seen it with Arteta now. We've seen it, so now we get it. But with Tottenham, I'm like, yeah, you're right. This manager's come in and he's getting a few players, but they're going to Tottenham because they're choosing that project. And we have to just see. I think you're spot on. No one is expected in Tottenham to do anything this season, yeah? So they've got to rebuild.
The manager as well. Like, I'm a big fan. Sorry, Judge, just quickly. Like, I'm a fan of how he's coming in and he's saying all the right things. However, obviously, I know ultimately managers are kind of judged on results, and that remains to be seen. But at the moment, for what he can do at the minute, because obviously he can't get results at the minute because we're not playing in the league. But for what he's doing at the moment, he's done all the right things since he's come in. So I think, which is a really, really good thing and a good foot to start off with, especially with a fan base that's had been really toxic the last few years because of what's been going on. So I think that's a really good thing as well.
No, anyone that knows me, I don't do. I kind of talk from how I feel. And
we know about that, Deji.
Last season, I genuinely felt that Tottenham could mount some sort of challenge, and it was a disaster. This year, for whatever reason, I have not joined the hype. I am not trying to get gassed. I've seen a lot of streamers come on there. They've been really shaking their bum, reminding me of Cisco's phone.
How many times have you said that now?
I was going to say shaking his bum.
Bro, have you been away on holiday?
If you go on the Tottenham streams and you listen to the Tottenham fans, it really is the Cisco's phone song. They're shaking their bum for Postecoglou. And if you take your step back, what has he really achieved? He hasn't really achieved anything to warrant.
Everywhere he's gone, even national. Everywhere he's gone, even national team, he's actually won trophies.
Yeah, what trophies?
Yeah, but so is Conte and Mourinho before they went to
what trophies are we talking about?
It's not the point about what trophies. If you're going to be a good manager, if it isn't a dead league, at least win that league, right?
No. Bro, you can't compare the Scottish League to the Prem.
No. Think about it. He went to
won the Scottish League.
He started off over probably in Australia, right? Won there straight away. Melbourne, all that kind of stuff. Australia won the Asian Cup there, right? Went to the J League, won there, right? Went to the Scotland League straight away, won there, right? Come on, man. You got.
I can't take the J League seriously. Sorry, from the J League, yeah. Just reminds me of J Bag.
I'm not saying he's.
I'm not disrespecting. I'm not saying he's got enough credit in the bank. But what I'm trying to say, he hasn't done enough. I hear it. That I'm seeing in Spurs fans. However, I do agree with Kendall and Daps. Look, I had the feeling the other day, especially if we get these two centre backs over the line, the rest of the league could be sleeping on Spurs, and that's exactly what we want. Because I'm looking at Tottenham's team right now. Attacking wise, we look pretty good, and if we get those two centre backs with Udogie coming in. We've got Porro. We've got what's his name? Spence coming back. There's a squad.
I just think
arguably a stronger squad than Newcastle squad.
I actually think the biggest problem with the new managers is always the expectations. Same with Pochettino.
And right now, he doesn't have expectations.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I think the bad thing for the new managers, especially trying to rebuild the system, and believe me. There's some PTSD from Conte after the Conte leaves the club. There's the PTSD after Conte. Yeah. I hated that prick with everything. I know he wants us league, but I couldn't stand him. And he ruined for the next couple of years the whole thing at Chelsea. And I was warning actually Tottenham fans about him. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is maybe that you still in Europa, it could be a bad thing for you. To the new manager.
They're not even in Europa.
We're not in Europe. We're not in Europe.
It's not even in Europe.
You're not anywhere?
We're just focused on the league.
No, it's not even in Europe.
Oh, never mind that.
He's with you.
Yeah, he's with you. Murad,
never mind then.
I want to hold on to the expectation part as well. So just bear that in mind quick. Murad said, would you take Sancho plus 50-60 million for Kane and try to play Son at striker? Son showed he can do the striker position. Would you take that?
No.
Wow.
Quickly, HM, thank you for the support. You're in every single show. I'm pretty certain HM. You even hit the like.
Reminds me of. Do you remember that Jesse Lingard? He kind of reminds me of him.
Who? HM.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that Jesse Lingard that was in the chat ages ago?
Oh yeah. Right. I was going to say.
Him.
But yeah, because he hates us, hates all of us. I literally, if you listen to what I said, my reason why I can't take the J League serious, it was nothing to do with it being Japanese football, yeah? Right, it was to do with the name. But I get it. Anything we say you don't like, you jump on us. So anyway.
The chat's been ridiculous tonight. Even I'm beefing in the chat.
I've only just looked at it. I don't usually look at it.
Comments,
to be honest with you, whenever I look at it, whenever I see it, look at it. Oh, isn't he a Chelsea fan?
Who's this?
He was on Chelsea. He's on Lewis streams a lot, and I have a nickname for him if you want to know. For HM.
Well, what's his nickname?
Does he go on the streams?
Yeah, not on the streams now. No,
I might come over there and chat with him.
He said Lewis and Klaas.
I used to call him favorite swallower.
Okay. Makes sense.
He's a funny one. It's one of them ones where it's like, I've got to thank him because listen, you are contributing to this channel. So, I mean, I appreciate that you contribute to this channel, even though you hate all. I swear, Cass, is he nice to you ever?
No, you know what is you got to take him a little bit differently. Some of these guys. So I don't beef anyone in the chat anymore. I just want to address people if they go a bit personal on someone.
I mean, he's supporting us. I appreciate that he supports us.
No. It's not like he's still watching. I don't mind it. He's trolling, isn't it? It's just his way of doing things. It's fine. People are different. You know.
Do you know the best thing is though? What I've noticed because I never open.
Yeah, but the more respectable version.
I never open. Oh yeah. I never open.
Jackman.
I don't open that anymore.
Yeah.
But whenever I do, HM's in there instantly. But the funniest thing is, the best thing is, the minute I talk about how someone said something in the chat, I notice all of a sudden all the comments start trying to get me rattled. Like, oh, what about the charges and this and that? No, the chat is now off. I just quickly jumped on there to check the views and whatever. It's off now. So
yeah, the only thing that rattles me these days is Ben Jacobs and a bit of Mo. That's it.
And Newcastle.
Somebody actually mentioned my mom in the chat earlier.
Then block them. If next time, I'll comment in there. I'll make you a moderator. If they do that, just block them. And to be fair, mods should be doing that anyways. We don't have that sort of chat. You just get booted. I don't care.
Yeah.
Last one, expectation is probably going to overrun a little bit, but Declan Rice is rumored to sign officially for Arsenal tomorrow, pen to paper, all that stuff, signed off by the lawyers of West Ham as well to go through. Do expectation. What's his expectation for next year? And I want to know what you give it as a rating, as a signing for how much money they bought him for. Does that make sense? I want to put everything into one, and I don't want to be stupid about it or make an agenda about it. Just like an honest thought. Anyone can start with that.
I'll let others go first.
I'll go first. I think, like I said, it's 10 out of 10. But the problem is with Kai Havertz. And it's 7 out of 10.
No,
and I'll explain.
I've never heard of it transferring to going down and signing more players.
Yeah.
I'll give you another thing. Because they're saying that they're going to play him in the midfield, which is laughable to think about it, but it's gonna go down even more. It's now with him there, 10 out of 10, Kai Havertz 7 out of 10. If Partey leaves this summer, they will go to 4 out of 10. If Partey leaves, and the only thing they have is...
If they buy Caicedo?
If...
They could.
They could. My grandma could have wheels and she would have been a bike.
All right, hear me out on this part. Just a quick 20 seconds, yeah? They sell Partey. They already got 50 million left in the bank. They sell Partey for 30, 40. They got Caicedo money right there and then. And they can go buy him if they wanted to.
Okay.
And by the way,
I don't
to Man United.
Tell you. I don't understand what's the point of you saying that. I'm saying what it is.
Buy someone. But okay, all right. Hypothetically, I know what talking about Arsenal's window, but Declan Rice is a sign in itself. I just want to know about Declan Rice as a sign itself. What people think.
You just said hypothetical, but you give hypothetical to them, not to. Yeah.
Well, the truth is, listen. If Arsenal get in a deal, the difference is that if Arsenal got in a bidding war with Manchester City, who at the moment, because Bernardo has not left yet, and because of where we are, we don't need Declan Rice more than them. So we backed out, right? However, they get into a bidding war with Chelsea for Caicedo. Chelsea ain't backing out because Chelsea need Caicedo, yeah? Arsenal will not go near that bidding war because, like I said about Liverpool, that as long as Chelsea are sniffing, no one will go in for that because Chelsea will get their man, right? And it's bad publicity to lose bidding wars. So they're not going near him, bro. Caicedo's going Chelsea.
I'm just saying, like I said, 10 out of 10 if he signing. I think he will suits them. The problem is, do you weaken your midfield overall, or you strengthen your midfield? And I'm not sure that Partey, he's better than Partey at this point of the time. I still think Partey is the higher than what's his name? Than Rice at this
But
moment.
he's better. But Rice is better than Xhaka in the 8.
Yeah.
In the 8 role, yeah.
So for
How
me,
much better? Because Shaq
Oh,
was pretty
I think.
unbelievable.
Well, no,
Shaq
I
was pretty
think
unbelievable last
Declan
year.
Rice is. I think
I
Declan
think-
Rice overall calm, composed, leader. I think Declan Rice in the 8 role makes absolutely.
I think in 2 years
sense.
maybe, but to go above Shaq's level of last year, it's going to take a lot.
He's already led them to a trophy. He's already led them to a trophy as a captain.
hold on a second. Do you remember the draft, or the people don't get one thing? Like Xhaka scored, but Arsenal never stopped conceding the goals. Guess why they didn't stop conceding the goals? Because Xhaka is not fast enough to drop back and help Partey defend. That's why Zinchenko was there. So he left Zinchenko open. Why
Yeah,
you
defensive cover,
criticizing
of course, yeah.
one portion of the field? Like you hyping up him for scoring the goals, but because of him being that high in scoring goals, sometimes the counter comes onto midfield where Xhaka technically supposed to be. Instead of Xhaka, Zinchenko's doing splits over there and gymnastics. That's why they conceding the goals. You give him
Word to
props
Van
to him
Dijk.
in one. You forget about there's another half of field in the behind Xhaka. And it was
Yeah,
Zinchenko.
of course. Yeah, you
Rice
can
is a
say
good
you
signing.
know,
Rice is a good signing.
I know he's not here to defend himself, but Dawood did say that Kai Havertz was going to be better than Xhaka.
I heard it.
Yeah.
I heard it.
that was says a lot of stuff.
Nowadays.
Pick up Dads.
By the way, Igal give me a stats from Kai Havertz in Germany. 140 caps. He played 18 games in the midfield. That's what we're going for.
This is
18
as
games.
They
is
got-
140.
I would have kept that to myself and not bothered sharing
this
it.
Kai Havertz midfield thing. He's really, really pushing it.
You don't know,
We'll see.
like we've seen some weirder stuff in the world. We've seen Joe Linton go from striker to centre mid. It can happen, maybe.
Very true.
Oh, she took it straight back to Newcastle.
Yeah.
then.
But it's just, it's a weird one. Who thinks from striker to centre mid all of a sudden and be more than capable of moving the ball the way he does?
No, because the problem was that he was never a striker anyway. So
Oh, was he not?
No, he was at Hoffenheim. He wasn't necessarily a 9. Now he's more of a winger,
Yeah.
more of a wide player.
I just
Go on, Desi.
Yeah.
Go on, Desi.
Yeah, I just wanted to add my 2 cents about Arsenal.
course you
For
can.
me,
We'll wrap
I
up your 2
just
cents as
think,
well.
first and foremost, I thought Arsenal, some of the average players outperformed last season, i.e. Ben White. But the key thing for me is that what Arsenal needed, amongst all things, and I know the transfer window is still open, is they need a 20-plus goal scorer. Jesus is not the guy. He was never that guy at Man City. He proved it last season. Like they talk about the injuries, but Jesus was never going to hit 20-plus goals. Now, if Arsenal don't get in a striker that can bring in 20-plus goals, then really what they've done is pretty much kind of the same business. Now, I hear Declan Rice coming in, doing a job over Xhaka, okay. But if Partey leaves and they don't bring in a Caicedo type character, then they've got a bit of a midfield rebuild because Partey really is the heartbeat of that team.
We were saying this as well. They need depth in the midfield, right? That's what we've
You know
been
what I'm
saying.
saying?
That's what Alex was alluding to as well, I believe.
So for me, unless Arsenal are bringing in someone like an Osimhen or someone who you know is going to give them 20 goals plus, I could actually see Arsenal going backwards. Remember now, the other thing to remember is Arsenal were playing Europa League, playing the likes of McQuinos, playing the likes of Nketiah, so they were able to rest their first team. They won't be able to do that when they're taking on Bayern Munich. They won't be able to do that when they're taking on Inter Milan and Porto. And so therefore, in the system, and the final point that I wanted to make about Declan Rice, we all know not everyone who makes the step up can actually make that step up. We know that, okay? Declan Rice has been used to trying to survive for his life. He's fighting for his life to be on the pitch because West Ham is always struggling. How is Declan Rice going to fit in with a team that's going to have 60, 70% of the ball? Is he going to be standing in the middle of the pitch scratching his bum? That is a possibility. So for me, it's not done and dusted that Declan is going to come in and take Arsenal to the next level, it could actually be a disaster in disguise.
And the best part about that was the end kitty cat part.
Oh, and the fact he's made 4 references to bums now. I mean, at least Declan isn't shaking it; he's just itching it.
Yeah, that's the one. But we're gonna have to wrap up there, guys, man. I appreciate everyone that has liked the video. If you haven't done so, just remember to do it on the way out. Drop a comment after the stream is finished. Go subscribe to. You can say Deji will be making his own channel at some point, but you can go subscribe and see him more at One Touch TV with some absolute crazy references over there.
And can I just say as well quickly, thank you to Alex, thank you to Kendall, thank you to Deji for coming on. And it's not shameless, it's not shouting over each other. It was a good conversation. And to anyone out there, when you smash that like button, once the video's over, I don't mean in the live chat, if you could leave comments with feedback, because we appreciate the feedback. If you tell us, like, don't be rude, yeah. But if you think that having a less shouty, a less shameless conversation is a good thing, let us know, because we kind of want to know which way we want to go. We like this way, by the way. We don't like that shameless.
By the way, I'm becoming shameless as soon as the season starts. So good luck.
Yeah, then it won't end well for you, bro. So
it will. Okay. Yeah, Mason Mount's gonna dunk on all of you guys. But anyways, as I was saying, as well, what was I gonna say? Nearly at 12k followers. So you ain't subscribed, make sure you know how to do that. The subscribe button's important because it will notify you when we next live, notification about all that good stuff. In a bit, goodbye. And you can say God bless, as Terry says.